Hi, it's me, your boyfriend slash girlfriend slash day friend's favorite content creator. And I have a little secret to tell you guys. I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but Elden Ring's pretty hard. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty hard. Especially coming from Fromsoftware. I know I'm not known for making some of the most difficult games of all time or anything like that. But apparently Elden Ring is so hard, especially the DLC, this new DLC, the Shadow of the Erdtree. It's so hard that people are quitting it and review bombing it, and even making new modes called journalist mode to make it easier, you see, because the game is so hard. Now, I'm going to address this in the reverse order in which I mentioned it. Let's get something very clear here, okay? I understand, and I've said this before, I understand. It's a huge joke to say that journalists are bad at video games, mostly to do with the Cuphead footage, the infamous Cuphead footage. If you guys aren't aware, there was a journalist demoing a Cuphead, I believe at like Gamescom. I'll correct that in the edits if it's different. And he was not able to pass the tutorial section. Yes, the very simple, very easy, if you ever played a platformer game or if you just looked at the actual instructions, tutorial. It was funny. They knew they fucked up. They still posted it. It was supposed to be a good laugh. Ha 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 ha. Instead, it became this litmus, this benchmark of all games journalists, one they can never overcome because they're all that one guy. Fast forward to the week of the Erdtree release, and the embargo is going up. Now, every journalist said the game was good. Some of them reviewed it lower than others, but they all said it was good. But people really honed in on the Eurogamer review because they gave it a 3 out of 5 because they said it was kind of just difficult for the sake of being difficult. And once again, that one reviewer became the face of all journalism. Even though IGN gave like a 10 out of 10, Kotaku's giving it a fucking glowing review, like they love it. Every review I've seen other than the Eurogamer one is like, yeah, this is the best shit ever. Those don't matter because now there's this culture war between the gamers and the game journalists who for some reason are not considered gamers. And what's being missed here is that making a journalist mode doesn't make it easier. You guys have to understand something. We get guides, the players, the consumer, we get guides. We can go on YouTube, go to Fighting Cowboy and watch his 100% walkthroughs, right? The journalists don't get that at all. At best, at most, they might get a hint from the producer or like the company, like, hey, there's a secret in this area. But that don't tell you which build is the most optimal. It doesn't tell you how to defeat the boss. It doesn't tell you how to have the least amount of or anything like that. There's no map for them to like, this is how you get there. This is how you go. They have to figure it all out. And they have deadlines. So like, if you wanted to do like an actual journalist mode, I think you'd have to put like, kind of do like what Kai Cenat does, where you have a time limit. Although I doubt 100 hours is even as much as journalists get. Make it fucking 72 hours, 48 hours, like a hard limit in the mod. And then if you don't beat the game by that time, you just delete your save. Like that would, actually, that's a good idea. But that would be more closer to journalist mode. And then also make sure you're keeping notes of where you're going, how you got there, what build works for you, in case you're doing just a review or just making a walkthrough or doing a guide. You know, you have to factor all that in. So I know people are going to call me a shill in the comment section, which it's fine. I wish I was getting paid, but that's just the truth. It's the journalists get the harder version. They get no help. They get nothing. Now, moving away from the journalists into more of the gaming side of stuff, like the gamers, the real gamers, they're review bombing. They're review bombing Shadow of the Erdtree on Steam. Why? Because the game is too fucking hard for them. You had streamers like Asmongold talking about, he's gonna quit. It's so hard. And I know if I mention his name, a bunch of his sycophants are gonna come and say, he always says that, but then he plays it anyways. That doesn't really change the fact of what his complaint was about, does it? Like, if you always complain but you still do it, the complaint's still there.
Are you done with the game? I might give it maybe another day. Like, I don't know, but like I think I'm pretty much done. Yeah. Yeah, I am. I think that the DLC is too hard for it to be fun. Like, when every single attack combo like stuns you and then you're locked into an animation and then you get insta killed. I just like, I can beat it, and of course I could beat it, but I just don't really want to. I don't want to sit through 100 attempts or 50 attempts on every boss where it's like you have to dodge like a 5 attack.
But he is still playing it, and he changed his build, and he changed mentality. And I think that's a lot of people's problems. They think Elden Ring is supposed to be played one way. And more often than not, because this is the Fromsoft crowd, the try-hard crowd, the one way is no fucking spirit ashes. Don't do that. Not using rune arcs. Let's not use any of the actual mechanics in the game. Don't use certain weapons because that makes it too easy. And it's like, bitch, I just beat the Erdtree. If you don't think I was spirit ashing with my plus 10 mimic, using the plus 10 special zone enhancements, going bleed build, using rivers of blood, you're crazy. You're crazy. Because the game tells me I can do that. The bosses don't fight fair. Why do I have to? Fuck it, yeah, I'm summoning myself. And we jump in them. Jujutsu Kaisen style. Jump Jutsu Kaisen style, baby. Because I want to beat it. I want to win. I'm gonna get out Memory Stick's way. I'm gonna get out his way. I'm gonna get out his way. Oh, what was that, bitch? What was that? What was that? The depths of whose foolishness? Gain my 0 runes. I wanna beat the boss. That's what I wanna do. And unlike Kai, I don't have 100 hours to do that because streaming isn't my job. I have an actual, like, not actual, but I have like a job outside of making videos. And so I don't have time for that. But regardless, that's why I think a lot of people are having a hard time. They've leveled up like crazy in Elden Ring, the base game, and they expect it to just steamroll through the DLC. But that makes no sense. The DLC was made specifically with the fact that people would have been steamrolling the base game for at least a year or two. So they have to go in knowing that. They allow you to scale up in the DLC that doesn't travel to the base game so you can have an easier time or better time. But I think people were expecting to just steamroll through it, and they aren't, and they have to being reacquainted with the world of Elden Ring, and they don't like it. Hence, the review bombing. Now, all of this is to say is, listen, Elden Ring's hard. Fromsoft games are hard. You think Sekiro is easy? Bloodborne? Dark Souls 1 and 3? I guess Dark Souls 2 also exists, but it wasn't from the same producer, so I don't want to count it, but still Fromsoft, so fine. Those games are walks in the parks. If I tell you about Dark Eater Medir, are you not gonna have PTSD? Orphan of Kos? No? Easy games? Like, you guys, it's the games, we know they're challenging, but to go and review bomb, which is something honestly I hate as a tactic now. People just dislike something or find something too difficult or don't agree with something's theme, instead of just not playing it or ignoring it, going out of your way to review bomb it, like the Star Wars fans who are doing with the Acolyte, just review bombing it just because they don't like the fact that there's diversity in it. They say it's about more, but it's fucking not. And to review bomb this game because it's too difficult. Knowing it's a FromSoft game, it's a Soulsborne game. Like that's like saying too much water at a beach. Like it's why? Just why? But I hope this makes you guys think about, the next time you guys just basically say that, like, oh, these game journalists are terrible gamers and they suck and they're bad, when they are the ones who have to beat the game to put their review out. Like they have to beat the game to put their review out. So they have to go through all the zones, the same zones that we went through. They have to do that with less help on a deadline, and to put it out for you guys, just for you to say they suck and they're terrible because one of them didn't give it the highest score ever, even though a lot of gamers are sharing the same sentiment as Eurogamer. Like, I think this division is so fucking stupid. Things used to be fun. We legit used to be able to just laugh at the Cuphead thing and be like, ha ha ha, that's funny and dumb. That guy's bad. But now it's become, oh, this is all game journalists. They're all terrible people. They're all awful. They can't play video games. Meanwhile, most of you guys, when you're looking up guides, it is from those people. It's from them. Like, it's crazy to me. Just go fucking play Elden Ring. Is it too hard? Maybe, but like, if you bought the game, you're playing the game, you have the DLC, you have overcome this before. Millennia was too hard. We overcame her. Most of us probably had to look up a guide to see how we could avoid waterfall dance. Or, maybe Let Me Solo Her helped you, or maybe you got helps from your friends. Maybe you used a Spirit Ash like I did. Maybe you used a Summon Sign, like who knows? But you overcame that. You overcame Radon. You overcame the Godskin duo. Twice. You overcame Radagon and Elden Beast. You overcame all those things. The DLC exists for you once again to take up your weapon and overcome it. That's the entire point of it. If it was easy, if it was a cakewalk, would you have paid for it? It's just like $40. I think it's well worth the price because it's hard and difficult. And you're talking to someone who doesn't necessarily like playing games that are just grueling. But there is something to be said about the magic of a FromSoft game, where each death, sometimes it pisses you off, believe me, I know, but it feels like you're learning something each time and you're getting onto the cusp. I am actually working on an Elden Ring video, maybe make a mini series, going over my stints of my playthrough from my stream of the Shadow of the Erdtree, and I literally found myself each death against a particular boss analyzing what I did wrong, like commentating on my own skill set while I'm playing and getting actively better until I beat him. And I felt great. And then, a random gank mob kills me. But like, that's the game. That's why we play this game. It is to conquer these unconquerable foes, and then to get one shot by like a fucking soldier with the spear because he was just off to the corner and right. You were too busy focusing on the person in front of you. That's always been the Elden Ring experience. Always been the FromSoft experience. You kill the demigods, you get tripped up by a mob. That's how it goes. Engage in the game's mechanics, please, for the love of God. No more of this stupid shit of no spirit ashes. You can't use this weapon. You can't use this talisman. No, fuck that. Says who? The game put it in there. You didn't mod the stuff inside of it. Use it. See if that makes your experience much easier or more pleasant. Just because some big streamers or content creators always do no spirit run, level 1, I'm butt ass naked using a sword build, doesn't mean you have to. They do that for content. I promise you, if they were playing it off screen, they would be playing it like most of us, which is trying to have the least amount of damage done and do the most damage. That's it. Wouldn't be this fucking bucket head running around my diapers shit. They wouldn't be doing that. So don't compare yourself to these people. Go out and enjoy the game the way you want to enjoy it at the end of the day, okay? But please stop fucking review bombing games. Like, come on. And maybe we cut the journalists some slack. Again, we don't have time limits when we play. They do.